Hey guys, good morning. This is Chris here in Hawaii at the London close with Bettertradr. So, going to go live here to see any trading opportunities that we might have to go with here. So, you can see just looking at the heat map for today, the dollar has been bid across the board here. Kiwi's being sold off, which is really interesting to me. I didn't last week. I was trading against the Kiwi a lot. I didn't see why they were being bid so much. Canadian dollars mixed. Swiss franc pretty bid. Yen is bid across the board. Look at this, up over 1% against the Kiwi. So definitely some big bids coming in. Australian dollars being sold off. Pound is sold off except for against Aussie and Kiwi, and Kiwi sold off substantially. So Euro actually hung in there up against the pound, Aussie, Kiwi, not too much off of the CAD and the Swiss franc. So they're really just getting dragged down with this risk-off environment for today. So we'll kind of look to see what drivers we have going on here in the morning report, and then we'll take a look and see what opportunities we might have. So the Dow, looking at equities, is down substantially, 766. The Nasdaq's down 1.18%. VIX is up. The Dow was at one time off 900 points. It's only down 766. So we'll take a look and see what happens the rest of the day here. European stocks got hammered. Bank allocations, coronavirus. That's the theme here today. Let's take a look here at some of the other areas. I want to see what oil's looking like right now. Oil's down $1.82, down to 39.29. So it's probably going to get down to the 38 mark, I would say. I know some forecasters are forecasting $49 by the end of the year. Gold is down 58.40, which is interesting as well. So it's just complete hammer. So it's all into the US dollar is what everyone's going into. At least that's what it was today. So government debt rose at 58 and 59% in Q2 in an effort to halt the virus. So yeah, I mean, they're throwing everything they can at this virus here, but risk sentiment is definitely on the back foot. But what's interesting is the dollar is not a very high yielding currency. So I think what's going on with Asia, I know there's been some real U.S.-China tensions there. You've got Supreme Court Justice here in the U.S., Ginsburg, gone. That's going to further provoke tensions with the Republicans and Democrats. But I'm not seeing a heck of a lot other than just coronavirus fears. Victoria recorded its lowest new virus cases in 3 months. There was some cheerleading by the Prime Minister. So there's a lot of central bank decisions this week here, and I think New Zealand's one of them. So that's probably why they got sold off here. So interesting stuff. So it's just a straight risk-off environment right now. That's really what's going on to start the week. So obviously, dollar's going to be strong. I think the euro is going to be strongish. There are some virus restrictions looming, so I think that's what's hurting the euro today. So Australian dollar got hit, but I'm gonna say, unless U.S.-China tensions really take off, the Aussie is going to be probably a good go-to here, from what it looks like. I mean, new sanctions on Iran. There's just a ton of crazy stuff going on out there today. Imports. Libya oil. China going against the TikTok sell-off. Ooh, interesting. So the U.S. yen spike. We're thinking the Japanese are intervening here. That's interesting. The buying hit right at 9:30 Eastern time, so right at the market open. So that is interesting. You know what? Let's take a look at U.S. dollar. Yen. That's and I'm betting you that that purchase propped up the dollar across the board. That's interesting. See the spike up right here. So it spiked what about 50 pips here? So very interesting here. So what I like to do too is I want to see where the volume was on this thing. So the retail volume was right here in the middle. So the retail volume tried to make it higher, but I think external factors brought it up. Just remember, when I use this volume profile tool, it tells you the retail volume for FXCM. It does not show all the players in the market by any means. You know, the Forex market is the largest market in the world. So there's a lot of different players. There's central banks involved. There's companies involved. So this is showing volume. When I look at volume, it's showing volume here with an FXCM, which is one of the largest brokers in the world. We can use Awanda as well on this, but it gives you an idea of what the retail traders are doing to react to it. So generally, the big brokers, there's big players trading, you know, in with these brokers, but by any means, it's not you know, it's not nowhere near the amount of players out there making these moves here. So the U.S. yen, that's an interesting move. Let me go back here a little bit. I just want to see what's going on. You can see it's been a pretty sustained move here for about a week. Just going down. It started up at 106. So it's gone down about 200 pips. It's rose a bit. I don't see a lot of reaction right here. So what I would have liked to have seen is a little bit more follow through up here to the top. And then maybe a little bit of a move down after that. So don't know if US yen is what I'd be interested in today. You know what I'm really interested in is actually going against the Kiwi or the Aussie with the Canadian dollar. I think oil is primed to peak here a little bit. We've got the hurricanes coming, which is going to hurt. You've got Middle East tensions, and that's going to just drive oil prices up, which bodes well for Canada. Not to mention the fact that winter is coming, and that naturally helps the economy for Canada as well. So let's take a look at Kiwi CAD. I took a trade actually yesterday, just so you guys know, up here at the highs here. I think I got in at 89.25, and then we just got chopped here for a little bit, and then it just dropped down, and I got down to about here before I got out. I stayed up a little later. Normally, I'm out of here by 9 p.m. no matter what. But if I would have gotten out at 9 p.m., I would have missed this move, and you can see it's been pretty spectacular. But you can see it's been held up here. It's probably going to rebound a little bit, but it's not going to be a mover today. Let's take a look and see what else we got here. So let me see. The problem with risk off trading, if that's the fundamental driver, is that can change at any minute. That's very much market driven and um, not fundamentally driven. Look here at the pound kiwi as well. Pound kiwi's been sold off pretty big time here. I mean, once again, the pound still has UK still has Brexit to worry about, and not to mention they are getting beat up here by COVID again, so they might do some type of restrictions again. That's kind of the word on the street. So that could hurt them as well. I'm going to take a look and see what other areas we have here that we might be able to get into. What I'm trying to look for is some kind of inequality. So I want to see a big run up that fundamentally doesn't make sense. So going into the dollar at all doesn't make sense right now because Chairman Powell for the Fed has basically said he is not touching rates for years to come. So it's not very high yielding. Let's take a look here. Yeah, you know what's funny is this has probably been one of the busiest Sunday trading days, or Sunday for me, Monday morning days that I've seen in a while. I mean, it's pretty interesting, actually. Let's take a look. So pound Aussie, there's a level at 177.53. Let's mark that level. So it's broken through, retested, spiked up. It's interesting. So this level is broken, obviously, which gives it more of an upside momentum here. I'm curious to see if this thing breaks through here and possibly breaks through here. Let's see where the volume is on this last downward move. Yeah, it's right up in here. Let me go back a little further. You can see this buildup right up in here. So there's this little volume cluster here from previous high. So if it breaks through this, then it's probably going to go further. But if not, I could see this thing kind of going down. But it looks like it's kind of build a base. The interesting thing here is you see this drop, and I think that was just to get better price for larger players, because the big volume doesn't start till 176.91, but it dropped all the way down to 76.33. But you can see not a heck of a lot of volume in that area. So the problem I have is, fundamentally, I think Australia is much stronger than the pound right now, or UK, with everything going on, all things being equal. So you had a nice little move here, 3 bars in a row. So that's the last, we're on 30-minute time frame here, and it's right in the middle on this. So it seems like this level here is actually a pretty good level because it's really being held up here, 177.53. So if we took a trade now, we'd be looking at about to be frank, if this thing closes above here, I'm really not interested because you can see on this first downtrend when sellers started coming in the market, all the volume's right here. So if it breaks above that, that tells me that this thing's going to go further. But once again, that's retail volume right here. So it looks like there's some pretty firm resistance here between 62 and 77. So pound Aussie's on our watch list. I think we might be able to get on this guy short and take this down another leg. I think a lot of people are planning on, okay, well, it's broken this level, so maybe it's going to take another leg up. But fundamentally, the pound's not very strong. So we'll keep an eye on this, and then I'll chime in if we decide to take a trade here. I want to do a little bit more research before I throw money on this pound Aussie, because the momentum is so risk off right now. That'd be my only fear, is that Australia, the Aussie, gets taken for a ride because of the risk off environment. So, what happens a lot here in these times is maybe it spikes up into this area and then it just drops like a hammer. So that could be something interesting too. But I think this base right here is something that's going to be tough to be broken on the downward side here. So the momentum definitely is upward, but the funny thing is I'm not seeing a lot of follow through on this. So interestingly for me is if this thing breaks above, we'll probably see it go up. So we got 3 minutes to wait. Let's see what happens here, and let's see if this thing breaks, stays above the sky, and we'll kind of go from there. All right. Thanks, guys. on this trade that I'm scouting right now. I want to see this bar close below the key level here if we're going to see another downward trend. On the flip side, if I see another positive bar kind of coming up into here in this area, I'll probably get long, thinking it's going to go up. But I'm more inclined to go downward just with the fundamentals. So I don't really like trading against what I believe the fundamentals to be, because that kind of gives me that added level of confidence and added edge. So we'll continue keeping an eye on this. I would almost even say if this thing doesn't close below the next hour or so, then we're kind of done with pound Aussie. One other trade I'm looking at is maybe a rebound on the pound yen. If the yen supported on the US dollar, chances are they're probably a little more active in the market. So it looks like the pound has formed a base on the pound yen. I'll show it to you guys here. Let's take a look. The pound yen has formed a base here at the between, what is it, 133.50 and 134. So kind of in this area here. I'll give you the exact area here. Let's see what the volume says. That tells you. So really the base is 133.77. So from the figure to 133.77, there was an awful lot of volume to try to spike this up. And once again, that was probably a market move from the Central Bank of Japan. The volume for retail traders was right on here at 134.03. So for me, if this thing breaks up above this area here, there's not a lot of downward momentum. I think all the orders already got wiped out with this reversal here. So we might be able to see a move up to 135 on this, because you can see here there's not a ton of volume here to stop anybody if it can make it past this bar right here. So we'll keep an eye on it. And then on the flip side is more fundamentally probably sound. If this thing breaks below here, we're probably going to see a little bit more downside momentum. But just keep in mind, if Bank of Japan's intervening already at this area, it probably doesn't want it going a little too much further than that. So just keep that in mind as you guys are trading. But like I said, I'm a little bit more inclined on this pound Aussie. I think really you could probably trade this either way, because it is technically a breakout. So it could target the next area, which would be up in this area here. If you go further back, probably actually target up into here, like 178.25 area. So you could get a nice little trade on that if you want to go upwards. The question is this thing going to hold? So, I mean, it looks like it. It really does, because the big volume spike was right here to break it out. And then this was the area it tried to retest once, didn't even make it there. And it looks like it's gaining some momentum upwards. So that's why I'm a little bit more interested in the yen. I think the central bank being behind that gives me a little bit more confidence than I am with pound Aussie. So we will see what happens, but I'm gonna stay on this pound Aussie guy. And you know what? Let's split screen this sucker. We'll go pound yen on this one too. So we've got a couple trades looking at it. So on the pound yen, the level that we need to get past is going to be 134.04. So I'm going to mark that. I want to see a close above that 134.04 level. And then the resistance area is, I think, 134.73. That's just the largest volume cluster. So really the volume is all built in between these two levels. So for me, this is kind of a classic breakout situation, if you want to say. If it goes below here, I'd look for a retest up and then try to get in south. If this thing breaks above here, it's already broken out once, so it would, if it retests, then I think it's coming up here to the 134.90 mark. So stay tuned. We'll see. But it's not looking like a lot of follow through on pound Aussie downward. I mean, you can see the base is building up into here. So I don't know if it's got the mustard to go another leg up. Realistically, if the pound goes up on the yen, it's probably going to go up here on the Aussie, but we could get a situation here if it's risk off, or excuse me, risk on, that the Aussie could appreciate, but the yen could, or the pound as well. So we could get 2 positive trades on this one. on the pound Aussie short, as we talked about. So the fill rate that we got in was 177.43.5. The stop is going to be if it breaks above the closes above the highs there, so 76.56. Excuse me, not 77. My hard stop is at 177.90, excuse me. But the profit target, we're going to go for 176.56. And stop is actually going to be if it closes above these highs right here. And not the wicks, the actual closing price. So if the higher closing price, I'm not interested. So that's the trade for today. And once again, risk on, risk off can be a little fickle. Fundamentally, the Aussie strong, pounds weak. So we'll take this guy today and see what happens. All right. Thanks, guys. And reward to risk is 4.78 to 1 here. Keep in mind what I do at the end of U.S. session going into the change into Asia. Unless we're way, way down here, the spreads are super high for pound Aussie. So I just exit with whatever I have, and then I'll re-enter. So you're basically taking a pip hit for doing that. But it's better than risking getting stopped out for something stupid. So just keep that in mind, and I'll catch you guys later. Thanks.